We're on Nun Tes in Avodah Zarah 59. Avodah Zarah. We're a few daf ahead of the daf Yomi, so this way people have time to catch up. Also, remember we said on the bottom of the previous daf we had the case where pagans were worshiping water. So and we're saying that they you cannot prohibit. Oh, I'm sorry. On the bottom of Nun Ches, let's just see the bottom of Nun Ches. Where it said, Reish Lakish So Reish Lakish came to Batzra and he saw that there were Jews who were eating fruits that were not tithed, and he prohibited it. And he saw that the pagans were worshipping the water and the Jews would drink it, and he said you can't drink it, it's not kosher. Rabbi Yochanan said no. We're gonna go back and tell them that the city Batzar is not Batzra. Batzar in the Torah is the one that you would have to tithe. That would be part of Israel. Batzra, which is in Jordan, is not. It's probably Petra, some people say. And public water is not prohibited. Wow. Rabbi Yochanan had its reason. Now we're on our daf that public waters cannot be prohibited. So, but does that mean to indicate that privately owned waters could be prohibited? No, if they're connected to the ground, they shouldn't be prohibited. Remember, we learned that before. However, what about a wave that's separated and not connected to the ground? So at the moment it's not prohibited, and so a wave that's privately owned could be prohibited, but not publicly owned. Sof avnei harsh and dadlun inhu. It would be considered similar to stones from a mountain that's wobbling, that's not totally connected, and they're just about to fall off. And the question is, are they considered connected or not? So that makes sense, according to Rabbi Yochanan, who would say that they're prohibited. It's Rabbi Yochanan himself, who is permitting this water, is the one who said that the stones from the mountain are prohibited. The stones that are, about to fall off. So this what Rabbi Yochanan was talking about is stones that were removed by human hands and not naturally falling. So therefore, the water in this case would be kosher. So that's why Rabbi Yochanan told Reish Lakish, go back and tell them that your ruling was incorrect, and the water is indeed kosher. Rav Chia bar Abba ikli legavla. Rav Chia bar Abba went to a place called the Gavla. Chaz b'nei Yisrael l'miavron me'akum shemalu v'lo. He saw that there were Jewish girls who were pregnant from pagan men who were circumcised and never went to the mikveh, so they're not gerim. They didn't become Jewish. That's one thing he saw. So he saw there was intermarriage there, and it would seem that there was some mistake that they thought that it wasn't really intermarriage because they were gemalit. The question is, they never were toiveled. He saw that the Jews would drink wine that was mixed by pagans. Chazer termusa deshakluhu akam v'achli Yisrael, and he saw tarmusim, which is a type of vegetable that you can only eat if you cook it for a long time, that pagans cooked and Jews would eat it. And so it's not an item that can be eaten raw. So it should have, and we could assume also that it's Razy Mommy calling you. We can also assume that it's something that's royal shulchan malachim. So therefore, it should be aser because of bishul akum. However, Rechia bar Abba didn't say anything to them. He just kept his mouth shut. He never told them that the things they were doing violated Jewish law. Also, the comment of Rabbi Yochanan Marleit Sever Chrizal B'neim Shein Mamzerim V'Liyenim Mishum Yain Nesach V'Termusim Mishum Bishulei Akum. So Rabbi Yochanan was very strict. He told them, go tell them. This is the opposite. When it came to Reish Lakish, was Machmir, and Rabbi Yochanan told him, you're being too Machmir, you're being too strict, be mekel, be lenient. Here, Rabbi Yochanan is telling Rabbi Chia bar Abba that you shouldn't keep your mouth shut, you should go and be strict. You should tell them that their children are mamzerim, that they're illegitimate. It's a whole machlokes whether or not the children are mamzerim, but according to Rabbi Yochanan, he was strict to say that there's the issue of mamzeris, would be on myself as well, according to Rabbi Yochanan. Their wine is not kosher, and they're because yain nesech, and their termusin, these vegetables that require a lot of cooking are not kosher because of bishul akum. Mishum sheinin b'nei Torah. And the thing is that the reason why he was strict about these vegetables, couldn't we just say that they're not royal shulchan malachim? So that was because these people were not b'nei Torah, and so therefore they're not trustworthy, and they would not listen to, if you're too lenient with them, they're going to be lenient with other things in bishul akum that actually are prohibited, even if this case might be kosher. B'neim shel mamzerim, Rabbi Yochanan tamei lo tamei, dam Rabbi Yochanan lo yelameinu ger ad sheyimu v'yitbol. Kevin lo tavel akum hu. So why did he say that their children are mamzerim? Their children are legitimate. Rabbi Yochanan has reason. Rabbi Yochanan tamei da amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said, "L'oilameinu ger shimul v'yitbol." You don't become a ger until you both have the bris, you're circumcised, and you immerse in the mikveh. And without that, you cannot convert to Judaism. It's a prerequisite of conversion. It's not only circumcision, but also immersion. And since he didn't immerse, he's a Gentile. So Rabbi Rochanan and Rabbi Yochanan said that a pagan and a Canaanite slave, a Gentile or a Canaanite slave, a Gentile slave, who slept with a Jewish woman, the child is a mamzer, is illegitimate, v'gazar al yenam, mishum yain nesach, and there's a prohibition against their wine because of yain nesach. This would all go against me personally, mishum lech arma nazir schar schar l'karmel sikrev. And all of this could be said because stay away, we say to the Nazirite, go around, don't come close to the vineyard, meaning to say that perhaps don't actually have a din of a mamzer, but it's a rabbinical law in order to discourage intermarriage, because otherwise the Jewish woman might think there's no big deal, that the children will be Jewish anyway, so what difference does it make? And so therefore that's why perhaps we could learn out that's why Rabbi Yochanan was strict. that they're these vegetables, their tamusim, are prohibited because of Vishalakim, because these people are not B'nai Torah. That would seem to indicate that that these tamusim actually don't have a prohibition of Vishalakim. Perhaps they're not royal shulchan malachim. The time of the B'nai Torah, ha B'nai Torah shari. So that means that only because they are not scrupulous in their observance is why we are strict with them. But if they were, and they were more knowledgeable, then it would be permitted. V'hamar of Shmuel bar of Yitzchak amarav kol shenecha k'moshu chai ein by mishum b'shulei Shmuel bar of Yitzchak said in the name of Rav that anything that's eaten raw has no prohibition against b'shulakum. V'yechan kiach lishna svirale. So V'yechanan holds like this. It means number of Shmuel bar of Yitzchak amarav kol she'ein oil shulchan malachim lefes v'eses pasein boy mishum b'shulakum. V'yechanan held like this. The Reb Shmuel bar of Yitzchak said in the name of Rav that anything that's not served at a royal banquet together with bread has no prohibition of bishul akum. Time of and b'nei Torah. So these foods are not royal shulchan malachim. They're not served at royal banquet. So therefore, there's no prohibition of bishul akum. That time, as opposed to this type of food that is not eaten raw. So the issue of being eaten raw, that would seem to indicate it is prohibited because of bishul akum. But the issue of royal shulchan malachim we don't have here. So time of b'nei Torah. So the reason why we're strict here is because the people in this particular town are not B'nai Torah, they're not particularly knowledgeable, and therefore they might wind up making major mistakes in Gavla, that they might assume other things that maybe are Roy Shulchan Malachim. They won't be able to differentiate between what's Roy Shulchan Malachim and what isn't. Habnei Torah Shari, so that would seem to indicate, as we said, that something that people who are knowledgeable in Torah are allowed to eat tormasin that were cooked by a Gentile. Bomin Neymar of Kahana, Akum Mao Shiluch, Anavim Lagas. They asked Rav Kahana, is a pagan allowed to bring grapes to a wine press? Amalahu Aser. So if Kahana said, no, you're not allowed. It's prohibited. Because of this, stay away, go around. We tell the Nazarite, stay away from don't come close to the kerem, to the vineyard. Eis for Rav Yemer of Kahana. Rav Yemer said to Rav Kahana, from what we learned in the Brisa, Akum Shevin Navim Lagas B'Silin. What does that mean? I'm going to go get my Gemara over there. That if a pagan brought grapes to a wine press, what does it mean, sealing? You see, there are things I don't know. Alright, we're on Nun Tes, on base on the bottom. In baskets. So anyway, so uve dardurin, or in small casks. Now we're on Amud Beis. We have to get back to this because, of course, the halacha is not that a non-Jewish father and a Jewish mother produce a mamzer. That's not the halacha that we follow. So we're going to have to look at Tosfos addresses this. Even if wine is flowing over them, it's permitted. Marle, so if Yemer said to Rav Kahana via Kamarta, Do you mean to cite this challenge about the grapes that are already transported? I only said this is a first resort. Not that, meaning that in the first place you're not supposed to have a Gentile carry the grapes. So if you did, the wine would still be kosher. So we have a story, another incident of a pagan touching wine without a intention of libation. Hu esroiga, the nafla chavisa de chamra. An esrog, the citron, the citrus fruit that we shake on Sukkot, fell into a cask of wine. Idre akum meshakle. So a pagan jumped up and caught the esrog before it fell to the bottom. So that he didn't stir the wine at all. He just went and grabbed the esrog. Amul Rav Ashi nektua l'day ki heichid l'shachshech bei bertzua de shaifa. So he said, hold his hand to make sure he doesn't stir the wine at all. Then there would be no libation. And then you should pour out the wine. Let's say it was just the top, or just halfway in, or a quarter of the way in. However deep his hand went in, from there, above that line would be prohibited, but the rest is kosher. So, Rav Ashi asked, how do we recoup losses if wine does become not kosher? Rav Ashi hayakum the nashke lachamra the Yisrael b'chavana l'gavna zemuni la'akum achina asa shayla l'mishkol d'meimeu akum my time miklakalye. So, what if a pagan went and intentionally libated the Jew's wine, made it not kosher? You're not allowed to sell the wine to another non-Jew. What are you allowed to do? You're allowed to fine the Gentile for the loss. Because it's as if he destroyed something that he's liable to the damage. Amar Vashi, Mana Mina La Desanya. Where do we learn this? We learn the Brisa Desanya Akum Shadisacheno Shali Yisrael B'Lei Shalmanei Akum Aser. The pagan can make a libation even without an idol being there. And then the wine is already prohibited in any benefit. Rabbi Yehuda ben Besev, Rabbi Yehuda ben Bavam, Rabbi Yehuda ben Besev, Matin ben Shum Shnei Dvarim. Rabbi Yehuda ben Bavam, Rabbi Yehuda ben Seah said it is permitted to benefit but not to drink. Echad shein menaschen yain ela b'nei akum. One is that without an idol there's no actual libation. Ve'echad shein aloyloi klemenchet shetziyin elainsi. And the other thing is, it's not, you don't have any right to take something that belongs to me and prohibit it against my will. So it should be okay even to sell. However, this is the way that Rav Ashi said that, therefore, based on that, you can we would say that if we didn't accept this argument, he could sell it, but because of the argument that we have, we then say no, he can fine the Gentile for the damage. There was a cask of wine, the spigot fell out. It was taken out. Asa akum idre anach yedei elvei. So the wine was flowing out, so the pagan, he put his hand on the opening to stop the wine from falling out. Amar Papa Koldel Ahada Barza Chama Asir. Any wine that's right by the hole is not kosher. V'idach shari, but the rest of the wine is kosher. Because Amar of Papa, and that's where we end here. We will we'll stop here for now, and that's the end of the daf. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. All the best. Well, actually, I wanted to look at the Tosfos. Let's look at the Tosfos before on Amud Aleph. This sugya of the question of the mamzer. So, and by the way, how do we translate tormisin? Tormisin, what they say, lupines? No, they don't even translate tormisin. A type of bean. So anyway, I want to look at this. Akum ve'eved habol basrel vlad mamzer. The Rabbi Yochanan held that a pagan or a Gentile slave who a Jewish woman got pregnant from the child is a mamzer. V'toima mai itzrich perak al manol koyin gadol perak asar yuchsin. Rabbi Yochanan Shem Shmuel Karab Devas Koyin Kisili Shtar Shminul Akum Evet Shmuel Bastrel Shipuslu Shita Hashta Vlad Mamzer Poisel Bias Paiva Marie Hadidei Hadarabe. So he said there are two different opinions. Anyway, that was Artsville here. Basically says that there is a dispute whether circumcision by itself is enough to make a ger without the mikveh, or that the mikveh itself without the circumcision is enough, or that you need both. Rabbi Yochanan holds you need both, and the opinion that there's mamzeris is that any parents who can't be united in marriage is a mamzer, but since the marriage cannot be effected between a Jewish woman and a non-Jew, the child's a mamzer. This is a Gemara in Yavamis discusses this. However, the question is this Rabbi Yochanan's opinion or how Rabbi Rochanan learns it? But the halacha we see in Shulchan Aruch does not follow this. That it's only if there was incest or adultery that there is mamzeris, but a non-Jewish father does not render the child a mamzer. That's the halacha. So I'm off the hook. All right. So thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. All the best. Thank you for watching. And,